Hello Artcadets and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at drawing different facial expressions, and I thought it would be quite fun to use the 7 dwarfs to help us. So if you're ready, let's go. So reading and understanding people's facial expressions is something that we can just do without even thinking about it. We generally know how someone's going to be feeling by the look on their face, as well as their body language and their tone of voice. But how do we draw that? That can be a little bit more tricky. So I'm going to give you a few tips on subtle changes that you can make to your drawings to make them look a bit more expressive and to show emotions, feelings and attitudes as well. And we're going to start off with Sneezy, one of the 7 dwarfs. Now, as well as facial expression, as I say, body language, hand gestures and all that kind of thing can come into play as well. So straight away we can tell there's something going on with Sneezy because he's got his finger under his nose. But so far as facial expressions are concerned, if you're sneezing, then your eyebrows are raised up, as you can see in this drawing here. Also, the position of the face can help as well, and we are also drawing him here with his mouth open. The other thing that happens when you sneeze is that your eyes close, so we're drawing him with his eyelids slanted at an angle, and that helps us understand that he is actually sneezing. So there are a lot of muscles in the face as well, and when you sneeze your mouth opens wide and the jaw drops as well, so you might get certain creases around the face. So moving on to Sleepy, and straight away we have got the position of the face slightly looking up, and we're going to make the face slightly longer because Sleepy is yawning. So all those muscles in the face are actually pulling down, which will give us creases and lines around the mouth. And showing the mouth long and open helps us understand that this character is yawning. You can also see as well with the eyes. Eyes are very expressive and they give away a lot of emotion. So with Sleepy here, he's got his eyes closed, so we don't see any of the pupil, and his eyebrows are raised right at the top of his head there. And again, we've used his hand as an aid to giving the impression that he's yawning. You can also see that his head is tilted back. So moving on to the 3rd dwarf, and that's Happy. So Happy is an emotion that's pretty easy to understand and to draw as well. So straight away we're going to have wide open eyes that are fairly spaced out. There's no sort of heavy eyelids or anything like that. When you're smiling, your face is wide and open and your mouth tilts up at the corners, so a big smile, and often you can draw someone who's happy with an open mouth as well. His eyebrows are also really high up and nice and fluffy and far apart. So another thing that happens when you're smiling and you're happy is that your cheeks widen out. So compared to Sleepy next to him, the face is wider, not long, so that's another thing to look at. And thinking about the face in terms of the muscles and the anatomy and what happens when you express these different emotions or facial expressions can really help you understand how to draw them. And it's often a good idea to practice these things yourself, and something you might want to do is look through magazines or books or anything like that and try and look at the different way that the drawings are done to understand the different expressions they're trying to show. So moving on to Grumpy now, and this is quite an easy one because obviously if someone's grumpy they frown quite a lot, and so we're going to draw quite severe frowny eyebrows on Grumpy here. His eyes are also close together, and the eyebrows are actually going on top of the eyes at an angle. and his mouth, as you can see, is turned down. And generally if someone's grumpy, all those kind of muscles scrunch up in the face, and all the facial features in general are pulled in towards the center. And we've also got some lines as well showing those muscles pulled in. And with grumpy also, he's looking down, and so his facial the angle of his face and the position of his face all helps to give that grumpy vibe thing going on. Also you can see his forehead, because he's all like, his eyes are all scrunched down to the middle, his forehead is quite long. So moving on to Dopey then. So Dopey isn't really a facial expression, but from what I can understand of Dopey, he kind of looks pretty chilled out. He hasn't got any worries, so he's quite laid back, and he's quite a happy little chap. So his eyes are fairly far apart, he's smiling, his eyebrows are raised, and you can see like the whole of the pupil of his eye, as well as some lines around his cheeks. So as I said, if you're looking in books or magazines, you can look at the different facial expressions in there and try and spot some of the tips that we've mentioned today. So next up we are going to draw Doc, and Doc is the leader of the 7 dwarfs, so he's the main man, the man in charge. So his facial expression is generally pretty happy, quite confident. And another thing that you can do when you're drawing faces, if you want to convey a certain attitude or personality, is you can add accessories. So Doc here has got a pair of glasses, and that helps to give the impression that he knows what he's talking about. He may be the senior, he's the one in charge. So he's got nice wide eyes, high raised eyebrows, and a tilted up mouth. So it's quite an open face, we haven't got any major frown lines or anything like that, but those extra sort of glasses and that nice open face give the impression that he's a pretty happy guy, but he's maybe more senior and more in charge. So last up of the 7 dwarfs is Bashful, and Bashful to me kind of means shy. So again, we're looking to create the face looking down, so it's at an angle, and he's not a very confident character, is Bashful, so his eyes aren't open wide, he's got those eyelids that are at an angle, and his eyebrows are raised as well, and they can be drawn on the slant as well, just to give that extra kind of shy, perhaps a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, that kind of look. And his general position also gives that kind of shy emotion, because his shoulders are hunched over and he's got his finger in his mouth, so he's not standing up straight. He's generally just a bit shy. So you see he's got a smile, but it is perhaps a nervous smile, and his whole sort of demeanour is his face down, positioned downwards, and it all helps to give that general emotion. So another thing that you can do if you want to practice different facial expressions yourself is to look in the mirror and perhaps draw the facial expressions that you see. You could also take some selfies and practice that way as well, because there's so many different emotions out there, and this video is just an introduction to a few of them, just for a bit of fun, to give you a few tips to look out for. So try this at home, see how you get on, and let me know, and I'd love to hear from you. Today, Artcadets, I hope you've enjoyed today's video and learned a few tricks on how to draw facial expressions. If you have liked the video, don't forget to give it a like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to check out my other art channel, The Art Hive, where this week I drew this watercolour robin. I'll see you next week. Bye!